Thanks so much for joining us. I can see that we have about 18 people. We had, what was that, 34 that signed up, Meg?
37.
37, great. So we might find that other people are going to join us later on. So let's get started. I'm going to introduce myself and then have my coworkers introduce themselves. My name is Mary Ellen Schroeder, and I am the Director of Career Development. Rebecca?
Oh, you're muted, Rebecca.
Sorry. Hi, I'm Rebecca Wright. I'm the Internship Manager here in Career Development.
And Meg?
And I'm Meg Adderman, the Student Outreach Manager here at Career Development and 2010 Illustration Alumni.
Thanks, Meg. So you have come to prepare for the fair, Roadmap to Help You. And we are going to talk to you today about the virtual creative internship and job fair that is coming up on March 2nd. And the registration is actually opening on Monday, February 14th. We're actually really excited about this event. We offered it for the first time last year, and it was a big success. The students really liked it. The employers did as well. And I just want to let you know that this is actually your reality moving forward. You're going to find that it's very common for employers to be recruiting and meeting with you virtually. So we want you to have that experience, and it's all going to take place on your Handshake account. So should we get started?
Sure.
And I'm going to take myself off camera because I'm going to start. All right. So as I said, you are here for Roadmap to the Fair. And next slide, please. And this is what we're going to cover today. Obviously, how a virtual fair works. If you had attended our student employment showcase in August, you have a good idea already about how this is all kind of set up. Where registration is opening on Monday, February 14th, and we're going to cover what registration actually means, how you can sign up for sessions, what your options are, and what those experiences are going to be like. How to select your sessions is obviously part of that, that registration experience. We also want you to feel prepared for how you're going to present yourself to recruiters that you'd like to meet, and give you tips to help you for the day of the fair. We also have some important dates coming up just so you can kind of put them on your calendar, and we are going to sum it all up with a to-do list. So I'm going to hand it over to Rebecca, and she's going to talk about the employers who have signed up already.
So these actually, as of an hour ago, this is a little bit out of date, but these are the employers that have so far signed up for the fair. This list is going to change because employers can sign up through the week of the fair. So there might be more added, but we have quite a few. I think we're up to 27 or 28. And there's some names you might recognize like Mattel and GBH, but there's some others as well. So I definitely recommend kind of checking out the list and kind of seeing what types of employers will be coming. So how the fair works. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview of just like the logistical things. So like we said, registration opens this upcoming Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern time. And what that means, like if you're on Handshake looking at the event page, it will just say registration opens on the 14th. But once that time hits, it'll allow you to actually register for the fair and be able to sign up for specific sessions. That's one-on-one sessions with a recruiter or group sessions with a group of 50 other students or so. All students have access to sign up for sessions at the same time, and the sessions are first come, first serve. Group sessions generally are pretty open, but the one-on-ones, if there's a company you're really interested in, you want to keep in mind that it's first come, first serve. So if you're very interested, you want to kind of go in as early as possible and pick your ideal schedule to get that. The sessions may change through the day of the fair. There is some sort of like shifting that happens leading up to the event where more employers sign up, more employers maybe open up some sessions or kind of adjust their schedule a little bit so they can see more students. So you can register and sign up for sessions starting on the 14th, but checking back may be helpful, especially if you're looking for a specific company to add sessions, you want a specific time and all that. And then even during the fair, you can sign up for sessions and you can sometimes, if you're going to a 30-minute group session, go to, if there's simultaneous sessions, you can go to one and then go to a second one. And also keep in mind that during the day of the fair, the time of the fair, we will have a career development Zoom help room that is for drop-in. So if you have any issues or questions during the fair itself, you can drop in and ask questions and we kind of help you in real time. So definitely keep that in mind because, we want to make sure it's a good successful event for you. So next, I'm going to show you just a visual of what it's going to look like on Monday when you go in to sign up for sessions. This video was done for last year's virtual fair, so ignore the fact that it says 2021, but this will give you an idea of what it is.
To participate, you first need to select register, and then it will prompt you to sign up for employer sessions. Employers are offering 30-minute group sessions and 10-minute one-on-one sessions, or a combination. It's going to show you the tab that has available sessions. Scroll down to see all the employers and what they're offering. To sign up, simply select the session and confirm. You will see that the sessions have populated in the right-hand column. On the day of the fair, you will come to the event on Handshake and go to your schedule. You will see the list of all the sessions you are confirmed for. 5 minutes before the event starts, the join video link will become active and you can sign in, make sure everything is working, and be ready. Should you need to cancel a session for any reason, you can select the session, cancel reservation, and it will disappear from your schedule. If you have any questions, please contact Career Development at careerdevelopment@massart.edu. To participate, you first need to select register.
Okay, sorry about that. So I'm going to pass this over to Mary Ellen to talk about the sessions.
Thanks, Rebecca. So as I said, if you were able to join us for the Student Employment Showcase in August, that was an event that was held on the Handshake platform, and it was for hiring managers here at MassArt in different departments and offices, talking to groups of students about the opportunities that they have for working on campus. And we'll be offering that again in August. And if you attended, you would know that the group session is typically about 30 minutes and that the employer, the recruiters, taking the lead and offering information. Keep in mind that the employer is going to have your resume and your Handshake profile before the fair. So this is an opportunity in the group session for you to kind of be a part of the audience and listen to what they have to say. You're going to be in the session with other students who are also going to be listening in. And our big tip for you is turn on your camera. For people who are presenting and giving their time to talk to students at various colleges and universities, it's the students who turn on their camera and actually ask a question in the chat, or they'll unmute themselves and ask a question. Those are the students who are memorable, because it doesn't happen as often as you would think it would. And especially if you have a one-on-one session scheduled with the employer and you go to the group session just to learn more about it, even if you don't say anything, they're going to see you and they're going to make that connection and know that you're interested in them. So you are welcome to attend all of a particular session or just stay for part of the session and enter others as well. So there, a number of students can join the group sessions. They're pretty easy to get into. Excuse me, it's the one-on-one sessions that the registration day, those are the ones that you're going to need to be clear about which ones you want to sign up for and be sure that you are signing up on the 14th. The group sessions as well, because they do have a cap, but one-on-one, they are limited. The nice thing about the one-on-one sessions is that they don't have waiting. You don't have to wait online for them. And this is your time with the recruiter. It gives you a chance to introduce yourself and you're just starting the relationship. This is not an interview. It's just about introducing yourself. And you want to be prepared to kind of talk to them, share information about yourself and ask questions. So as I said, the employer is going to have your resume and your Handshake profile before the fair. They can also message you if they see that you signed up for a one-on-one session. They could message you. So watch your Handshake account and any notifications that you might receive in your MassArt email. You will also want to get information from the company website before you meet with the employer if you have a one-on-one session, so that you're educating yourself about what they do and you can use your time to your advantage in terms of asking questions that would be helpful to you. The other thing I'd like you to know is that the employers are attending because they want to see the talent and they're interested in guiding you. They're very nice people. So if you have a one-on-one session and for whatever reason you can't attend, please be sure to release your spot so another student can take advantage of that. So I just want to remind you about that. Next slide. So one of the things that you'll want to think about when Valentine's Day rolls around and registration opens is that when you select your sessions, all of the companies that are participating in the fair are offering creative opportunities. And you want to look at them and say, what is it that's actually drawing you in to learn more about them? There's a long list of companies. We encourage you to look through all of the company overviews that they have offered when they signed up. And your goal is to create a short list of maybe 2 to 3 group sessions. So you are not attending the fair from 12 to 3 on March 2nd. You're probably going to be there maybe an hour and a half if you go to 2 to 3 sessions, perhaps longer. Obviously, if you choose a few of the one-on-one sessions, which again are only 10 minutes long. And so that if you're curious about certain things, you definitely want to read through the company overviews and see if there's any company that just kind of inspires you, you're interested in, you've always wanted to work with them, interested in their internships, whatever the case might be. Next slide. Okay, so you want to get yourself prepared. And I would say this is probably the number one thing that you want to do, especially if you're kind of like, oh, I feel a little anxious. I'm a little nervous about doing this because now I'm going to be meeting people and I don't know what to say. So first thing that I'm going to encourage you to do is complete your Handshake profile. As I said, employers will be able to see it. If you sign up for a group session or a one-on-one session, they can go in and see who they're going to be meeting. Hopefully, if you were able to attend Handshake 101, which Meg offered last Wednesday, you have more information about what you'll want to keep in your profile. Meg recorded that session and it's going to be going up on our Career Development YouTube channel very soon. You also want to have your resume ready. And we're not going to be talking about resumes at length in this presentation, but you can also ask for a resume critique through Career Development, and Meg can offer you a Handshake profile critique before the fair. hopefully everyone has a general idea of what an elevator pitch is. Basically, the concept is that if you got into an elevator and you met somebody that you would like to offer information about yourself, if you wanted to in talking to them, you only have the time between going from one floor to the next. What would you say? So it has to be very concise. It's something that you're distilling your best qualities into a really quick synopsis of who you are. And it's going to cover things like your background and your studies and your career goals. It is a lot for a very small, time period that you have, but I'm going to give you an example a little later on about how you can actually do that. Preparing questions. So if a company's drawing you in, you're kind of really interested in them, go to their website, find out, where your interests lie and think of questions that you would like to ask the employer. It's always important to ask good questions as well. So you could ask about, the company's culture, could you explain the design team's dynamics? What kind of internships or opportunities do you have? If it wasn't listed in your Handshake account, but always check Handshake to see if the employer has posted a job or internship, because we are asking them to do that as part of their experience attending the fair. And also creating your space is very critical. You don't want to have, roommates knocking on your door asking if you want to have, pitch in for pizza while you're trying to speak with this recruiter. You want to make sure that your room is clean, the bed is made. Blur your background if you have that option on your computer, so that you're coming, the recruiter can actually focus on you and what you're saying and not with the distractions that might be part of a space. So just kind of, keep that in mind and prepare for it. Okay, next slide. So resume tips. As I said, we're not going to go over resumes at length. We don't have time in this session, but we do have resources in our resource library. And if you go to massart.edu/career development and look under resources and appointments, you will see our resume templates and cover letter templates. I am going to give you some practical tips about putting your resume together if you haven't created one yet. And the number one tip I would tell you is don't try and do everything all at once. Don't try and create your content and design it and make it perfect and then come in for a resume critique. The most important thing is your content. And if you're thinking to yourself, I would love to tell a recruiter this about myself or have it on my resume so that they could see it, but I have no idea how I should write this down, write it down anyway, because that's the way that we can help you, is to say, tell me more about this experience. Tell me about why you feel you'd like an employer to know this about you. As I said, we can offer a critique to help you describe your narrative, basically. And you're going to use the really basic text student resume for your template, just to start off. And then the last step that you're going to do is design it. So create the content first, get some help to see if, talk about what your background is and what you want to put on your resume for the final draft. You can use that basic text student resume, and then you can take that information and design it in a way that is easy to read and somebody can skim it very quickly. Okay, and next slide. So the other thing that I think would be helpful for you to know is what the recruiter's goals are for actually being in these one-on-one sessions. And they're going to want to know, like, who am I meeting? Do they understand what we do as a company? What will the student be telling me about who they are? And do they have the background that might be useful to us? So kind of, put yourself in the employer's shoes and be able to answer those questions for yourself so that you can convey that information in that 10-minute session. Next slide. So here are some suggestions for how to introduce yourself. Typically, the employer is going to take the lead in the one-on-one session, introducing themselves. You can introduce yourself as well. And it's really about, the goal is to establish context for who you are. You're going to give a really short overview, what your major is, your year of graduation, maybe if it's an internship, what you're interested in exploring or learning in an internship, perhaps some relevant skills that you feel would be helpful for the employer to know, or that you would like to utilize in an internship. And you're just kind of making that connection to the company, and have a link to your work handy. And you can put it in the chat. And Rebecca's going to talk a little bit about how you can do that a little later on. Next slide. So what you see here is an example of how someone could introduce themselves, which is, I'm Adam. I graduated from Mass Art with a BFA in illustration. I've worked as an artist with AmeriCorps, working with kids in Providence, Rhode Island, and I really enjoy collaboration. I find that I'm attracted to opportunities that would be connected to community engagement, and that's one of the reasons why I was attracted to umbrella arts. It really kind of brings together my interests in collaboration and instruction. And then Adam's question is, can you tell me more about the teaching opportunities? So he's creating context for who he is, and then he's kind of creating this bridge to say, let's engage in this conversation. We're both here to talk about the teaching opportunities. Can you tell me more? Now, you may be looking at this going, well, that's great for Adam, but what about me? One of the advantages of getting your Handshake profile together is that there's a section called My Journey. And if you went to Meg's Handshake 101 session last week, she went through the different sections of the Handshake profile, and her advice to you was, do your My Journey at the end of your putting in all this other information, because now you've reminded yourself of all these wonderful things in your background. And what you're doing is you're kind of looking at all of it and saying, what can I say in 2 to 3 sentences that would kind of sum up and help somebody who's never met me before understand where I am and where I would like to go. So it takes a perspective of being able to look at the kind of full background that you have to date, and then kind of making some comments and providing context for your statement. And next slide, sorry. Okay, so preparing questions in advance. One of the things that I would tell you is check out the company website and look at their mission statement, look at the services that they offer or products they develop, see where your curiosity is kind of bringing you with this company, and base your questions on that information. And that's a great way to say, I was in, if you're in a one-on-one session, I was actually in the website for Mattel, and I was particularly interested in, and then talk about it, because now they know that you were doing your homework before you came to this session, and that's going to reflect very favorably on you. Write down your questions. And if you can't find the answer on their website, then ask it in your session. As we said before, ways that you can really kind of use the group sessions and the 10-minute one-on-one sessions to your advantage is, in the group session, turn on your camera. Number one thing, repeating it again, to ask questions, give feedback when the employer has finished their presentation. Do you have any questions? Ask a question. You can use it in chat or unmute yourself. And in your 10-minute one-on-one sessions, again, think of your questions ahead of time and be curious and engaged. The more prepared you are, the more likely you're going to feel comfortable in the conversation with the recruiter. Okay, I'm going to pass it over to Rebecca, and she's going to talk more about sharing samples of your work.
Okay, so this is something you might be wondering about for this event. The first thing I want to just kind of clarify is that not all employers look for a portfolio when they're hiring or may not be looking to go over a portfolio at this event. This event is really just kind of informational, quick meet and greet. The sessions are either 30 minutes in a group session or one-on-one is only 10 minutes. That's not enough time to really actually do a full portfolio review and go over everything. So it is, it's not going to be anything in depth, but the employers who may be curious about your work will probably be ones who are hiring for more creative design roles, like a graphic design internship. So, for something like that, it may be helpful to prepare 2 to 3 images that you might be able to share with them in, depending on your time, where you can kind of just say, I have a couple images I can share with you, talk about them. And in Handshake, in the video, it does allow you to share your screen. The other limit besides a 10-minute time limit will be technology, because it doesn't always show as great on their screen sharing system as it might. So you can also send them a link to your work in the chat. Make sure it's also on your resume, so that if after the fact, if they're struck by the conversation, they can always go back and look more in depth. But you can, if you want to share 2 to 3 images that might be relevant to their company or their position, and just plan a short story about the project. You can just frame the challenges you had, the process that you used, and then the outcome. So it's just, you're thinking just kind of a quick, summary of how that image or that project came about. You can share, usually when you're applying for an internship or job and they are looking at a portfolio, they usually do a much more deep dive in the formal application process and the interview. So this is not the kind of be all end all, but it is really just to kind of give them a teaser of who you are as an artist. And so that's what you just want to think, like, a couple images to kind of give them, a taste of who you are. So that's just a little bit about it. But again, not all employers will be looking for a portfolio or samples of work. So just kind of have that in mind. You might notice that in your research. If you're looking at the positions they posted on Handshake, if they will probably say in the description, please send a portfolio. So then you can kind of know they're looking to see samples of work. This might be helpful, or they may not bring that up. So maybe they're not necessarily going to look for that, or at least not at first. So that's just something to be aware of. I'm going to, well, next I'm going to go over the important dates. So this is just a list of kind of what's coming up you should have on your radar. So again, Monday, February 14th at 9 a.m. Eastern time, that's Valentine's Day. That's when you'll be able to go into Handshake, sign up for group and one-on-one sessions. It's first come, first serve, especially for the one-on-one sessions. So if there are companies you're very interested in meeting with, I would kind of do that sooner rather than later. Next Wednesday on February 16th, it's this same time, we are doing another session called These Employers Are Coming, where we go into a little more information about the employers who are attending, how to research, how to kind of decide who you might want to meet with. Related to resumes, we're going to be doing resumes to go in person, and this will be in the DMC lobby the week of February 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. That's the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 12 to 2 p.m. This is just a drop-in. If you have time during that time, drop by with a resume draft, or if you just have questions, we will all be there to kind of help you in person to kind of help get ready for this event. So you can also do a one-on-one resume critique that's more in depth through Handshake, which we'll demonstrate in a minute. But this is also kind of a quick way if you just want a quick, second opinion on your resume or have any questions at all. And then also definitely the most important is Wednesday, March 2nd from 12 to 3 p.m. is the Creative Internship and Job Fair, and that's virtual. So that's what this is all working up to. So make sure that's on your radar as well. So next, I'm going to pass it over to Meg.
Okay. So let me just share my screen since I'm going to be doing a demo. So just as a heads up, current students should keep their eyes peeled for our weekly emails on Tuesday, which is our internship emails, and everyone should watch the Thursday emails, which is our job highlights from career development. So it's really important to keep a lookout for these emails and be on top of the dates and times for any of our upcoming events and definitely our career fair. So like Mary Ellen said in the past slides, you should work on your resume and your Handshake profile since they really tie together so well to represent you. And just keep on keeping those current is really important. And as Rebecca mentioned in the past slide, for those who would like to meet up with us in the DMC, and if you have a resume, meet with us one-on-one. So mark your calendars for Resume Week from Tuesday to Thursday, from February 22nd to the 24th. So, all right. So if you have any questions going forward, I'm going to show you how to make an appointment for critique through Handshake. So let me get over here. Sorry, I'm going to move around some windows here. So first of all, you can always get to Handshake through our website at massart.edu/career development. I'm going to go to the Handshake login and then log in. Select MassArt. And always use your MassArt net ID and password. So this is your page, kind of covered from Handshake 101. So when you want to make an appointment, let's go to Career Center up in the very top right. And then Appointments. Schedule a new appointment. And then we'll go with student appointments for now. So this one is Handshake Profile Critique, which you can make an appointment with me, or you can make an appointment through internship resume cover letters and internship resume and cover letter critique, and just click through, and then let's select a day. And this is all of Rebecca's opening blocks for that day, and you can pick whatever day works best for you and the times that work best for you. So I'm going to hand this back. Oh, and also, just please remember that these are all virtual appointments unless you request to have them on campus.
Okay, and I see Indy has his hand up.
Yeah, I had a question about those appointments. I was just making some because I wanted to meet with both Rebecca and you, Mary Ellen, but it said that I could only make one appointment at a time.
Yeah, you can make 2 separate appointments, yes.
But it stopped me from doing that for some reason. It said that I had to, attend the first meeting before I could schedule a second appointment at a different time.
Yeah, I will check our settings to see if it's doing that and if we can change it.
Right, thank you.
That's a new to us.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Would you be able to go back to the slides in which you talk about like what the recruiters are kind of looking to know?
Sure.
So I can take like a picture and write it down.
Okay.
Thank you.
Rebecca, did you?
I can go back there. It's just taking me.
Okay.
Take me a minute.
And while Rebecca's doing that, for anyone who's a graduating senior who's in the audience, what I want you to know is that you have your Handshake account forevermore. Yes, you are using your MassArt net ID, the same credentials that you put in for your MassArt email in your Handshake to get to your Handshake account. And when you graduate, you would graduate in May, and then Alumni Relations switches you over to your alumni at massart.edu account. and your Handshake account will be with that email address as well. And you just have to kind of update your password. But please do not create a second account for yourself. That's really important because then we have to delete it, and it's just not good. And a lot of people have had internships that receive credit, and those records are in your student account. So we don't want to lose that information, and we won't delete that account. So.
And also know that employers, they're recruiting for internships, but also entry-level jobs for graduating seniors or recent grads, even, a couple of years back. So it's not just all internships. So kind of pay attention to what employers are, putting out there. And also if you have questions about what they're offering, don't hesitate to go to their sessions and ask.
Right.
So I think I have this slide.
Okay. And then we'll take Milo's question.
Is this the correct slide that you wanted?
Yes, I think it was. Did you just want a screenshot, Weezy?
Yeah, I just took a picture of it so I can write it down later.
Okay,
Okay.
great.
And
Excellent.
we'll also put this recording on our YouTube channel. That will kind of be linked to in one of our upcoming emails. So you'll be able to go back and, kind of go through everything. Milo, did you have a question?
Yeah, I was just wondering if you're going to post the list of employers anywhere, because it's not on Handshake right now.
I will show you. 1, 2.
Just take a picture of it.
Give me 1 sec. So our website is massart.edu career development, and we put kind of right on the homepage like a quick link to everything about the fair. So what we're doing, because we're getting kind of new employers popping in kind of on a regular basis, so we are just putting all this information here because it's just an easy cheat sheet for you. So we have all our sessions and kind of directions on how the fair works. But if you scroll down, we're kind of putting descriptions of each company, and then we're adding more information as we get it from the employers. So we're always kind of put like a last updated, so you can kind of see when the last update is. So this is something that you can refer back to and use. And then to get to the fair, either to register, sign up for sessions, or the day of the fair, we keep the link kind of here. It's also in your Handshake account, but this is just like a quick link to go there. So once it's the Valentine's Day, this will open and will allow you to register. And also this view will change and give you ability to see the sessions. You can also scroll all the way to the bottom, and there's also all 26 employers listed here. It's just a little bit hidden, but once Monday hits, it's going to change and it's going to be a little bit easier. So you can see a little more information on the event itself. And this is kind of more up to date, but again, it's a little bit kind of just hidden at the bottom. So those are the 2 places you can see the employer list.
Rebecca, can you go back to our document?
Yeah. Hold on, yeah.
Again, it's you're going to find it on our career development homepage, and the click to learn more.
Yeah, it's just on the top under the picture.
Right.
Click to learn more.
Yep, right there. And then when you go here, when we update the employer list, so if you scroll down just a little bit, that date of February 3rd was the last time it was updated. It's going to be updated again this week, I'm sure. We reorder all of the employers in alphabetical order. So just kind of scan the list, and then you'll be able to see the ones that you hadn't seen before. The other thing is, if you scroll up, we have also posted, we put all our information here, just a one-stop kind of experience for you. You're actually at the roadmap to the fair today, and next week at the same time, we're going to talk to you about the employers that are coming to the fair and how you can do effective research on them as well. And we'll definitely be able to answer any questions that you have. So as Meg said, please watch the Tuesday and Thursday emails. Watch for all emails from Career Development, because we are going to be promoting this fair and reminding you about these sessions and then, the resume drop-ins that we're doing in the DMC. So just kind of have us on your radar. And if you have any questions, please reach out to us. Valentine, did you have a question?
Yes, I do. Hello. Thank you for all of your time. So my question is, what website is preferred for showcasing our work in order to send employers like a link to so they could see it?
Do you want to take that, Rebecca?
Sure. So probably the easiest one that we recommend is behance.net. And it's free. It's as easy as a Facebook profile, just uploading images. Let me show you kind of a little bit more. So if you go to our homepage, we have a section called Mass Art Portfolios. And if you follow that link, that's going to take you to behance.net. And it's actually, for the most part, filtering by mass art students, alumni. I think there's some faculty and staff in here. So this is also a site that many employers use to find creative talent, and it's professional looking and well known. So it's a good place to share your work without having to get a domain, build a website, do all of that. And what I recommend, I'm going to go into just like the first profile. When you create a profile, it'll give you a way to kind of highlight yourself. If you have a website, you can link to that, or you can add that later. You can link to social media, but it allows you to give projects, and you can click into them. You can add descriptions to them. You can add process work. You can embed video. It's pretty straightforward, and you don't necessarily need to think about doing a whole portfolio for this event, especially if you are not a senior, because you're working up to that for your senior year. So just think of it more as a way to share samples of your work. That's just like short and sweet, and just like for the purpose of applying for an internship or something else at this time. And it might be just like limited projects, like maybe 4 projects. You're not going to put everything you've ever done in here. It's really just keeping it relevant for the purpose of like applying for opportunities. Okay. We also on our, hold on, I need to. We also, if you, on our website, we do have a section called resources, and we have a portfolio section, and it has some portfolio guide tips for internship applications. And this is just like, some quick tips. If you're kind of, a little bit stuck on how to kind of share your work, this will give you some ideas just, as you're applying for internships, what might be appropriate to put on your Behance. Because you don't want to be overwhelmed and, turn into a big project while you're in classes. It's really just kind of to the point, just a couple images and projects for, the purpose of applying for internships right now.
Rebecca, there's a question. Does Behance, doesn't Behance cost money?
Yes, the most important part, Behance is free. So we wouldn't recommend something that costs money. It's owned by Adobe, so it's connected to your Adobe account if you already have one. But no, it's free. I think they have some other add-on stuff that may cost money, but for the sake of Behance itself, it's free.
And you may have noticed in the upper right-hand part of the screen that there was a login or sign up button there. So that's how you would create an account or sign into your existing one. No? Okay. And I'm not, but thank you for coming. So it looks like it's 2:20, so we'll give you the gift of time. And as I said, you can always email us or make an appointment. We're very happy to help you. And we really look forward to seeing you at our next presentation, and especially at the fair. So don't forget, Monday is the day you're going to sign up. Okay, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.